Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Casters Lounge. It's the 7th one, and the big 7 or 9 are here.
Nope.
We've got so many casters, so many people, and it's live, so I can't really change what I've done at this point. We're going to be talking about the elephant in the room, aka the final we had yesterday, and we're going to be talking about Season 7, of course, and everything in between. But first, there are so many people to introduce, don't even know where to start. Maybe top left, Ant, you're accompanied by a Windows error noise that I've just made with my PC. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
Are you the Windows error of people?
Why don't you wait till after the podcast to start down on your port?
Yeah, I don't know how to just respond to that. Maybe. If that's a good thing, sure.
Alright, if Ant's the Windows error of people, then I think Dan's the Windows shutdown of people. How are you?
He's Linux. Linux.
Hi, Dan.
Sleep mode.
Aye.
How was sleeping 10 minutes ago?
I just woke
Bro,
up.
he's literally asleep.
I mean, yeah, I went to bed at like, what was it, 7:30, something like that in the morning.
Oh my God.
And now it's, yeah, I woke up 25 minutes ago, something like that.
Just a
5
mess.
minutes, I think.
What a mess. Hi, Dom. You don't get an introduction.
Twitch chat's least favourite caster. Love you.
If we did
Also
a
my
Twitch
least
poll,
favourite
then
caster.
yes.
Caster.
We'll see.
If we did a Twitch poll, bro, I love it.
ALX is in chat, so I bet that would go well for you as well, yeah.
My guy, I was chatting to him yesterday, he's a nice guy.
Philzy, hello. I think you've tied for least appearances on TCL while still appearing at some point. How does that feel?
I mean, it's not really an achievement getting on, to be honest. But
Yeah, we are going to talk about achievements, though.
Nice deadpan.
We are going to talk about achievements, though.
Nice deadpan.
A bit later in the podcast about sort of some seasonal awards, both good and bad, I suppose. We also have Grev, for some reason, in the middle.
I
really
am
know
center
why.
stage, baby. I made it.
The one
Let's
and
go.
only time he'll be center stage.
Shut
the
it.
only reason we made
Jake
it this early.
next to him, the one that just doesn't know what 4 p.m. means. Hi.
I made it a couple minutes
Nope.
late, but
Didn't
Yeah,
make it.
Didn't make
It's
it.
fine.
Didn't make it.
It shouldn't even be on
Didn't
right
make
now. I
it.
should have just kicked you out. If it wasn't for the symmetry of having 9 people, probably would have.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
How is finally not having to do more work for season 6 and then instantly realizing you have to immediately start up on season 7?
I woke up to 17 messages this morning about season 7, so yeah, that was my morning.
That was nice.
Lovely. Well, at least you had a morning, unlike Dan. Nexus,
Hi.
how are you after last night's cast? Me, you, and Ant.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just casually playing through some games right now.
In the darkness.
In the darkness.
In the darkness. In his cave.
My
in the
room's not
depths
even
of
dark.
Finland.
It's just my
Yeah,
camera
no,
being
I've
dark.
I'm sorry. The room's not even dark.
typically it
It
is.
isn't.
So.
Strommy, do you want to give yourself a strong introduction?
Don't think so.
No, he's here.
I
Hi.
am
He's
here.
Carrie Quad,
I'm
Carrie
always
Quad.
here, so nothing really to
The common
introduce.
denominator of ESN.
Nothing really to introduce, is there? Alright then. I think we kind of have to talk about the finals, don't we? In just kind of a pretty specific, odd ball out. Not just because it's the finals, I mean, just because of it being those finals. I mean, it's just not really fair to anyone that didn't watch them, to be honest. Because it's something where if you miss them, then I just feel bad for you, really.
Yeah, it's pity, isn't it?
I think most people here at least catched some of it. I'm sure some just didn't watch the whole thing through, which I didn't really expect. But the whole point was the end. With the well, I think the start was probably the worst, both with some hiccups, production-wise, and some. I mean, Vertigo wasn't a fantastic series anyway, or fantastic map, was it? Despite some okay plays here and there. Not
Out of the Mirage.
Yeah, not the most entertaining. Mirage sort of followed the same thing, but that was at least interesting because of Granite's.
They were just standard, weren't they?
Because of Granite just picking up the pace, sort of exactly what we saw from them versus Famous 5 on Saturday, I'd say, honestly, where they just kind of they made everything work, and at least Budapest 5 were at the table that Famous 5 were, where they just got slapped off every time they tried to do something else. Ant put it last night, but they were still they were still always being played out after maybe sort of towards the end of that first half, I'd say. Like when it got to sort of like 6-6, 6-7 in that region, I think after that it was the Granite show for sure. And then the final map, which there is more than much to say about it. Any of the casters want to talk about it that actually casted that game as well? Just, I'm specifically meaning that we don't include the traitor in this. Thank you.
Yeah, Graham, shut up.
Yep, go on.
Anyone else can talk.
Anyone else of the casters who casted it, basically anyone but Graham.
I was casting. I just casted it in chat though. I was just
Yeah, you
typing.
did.
Yeah, you were the chat hype man.
I was so hyped. That was the most hype I've ever been for an ESN game. I mean, Nexus Ant, from your perspective, what was it like? Not just watching that, but casting that, because that's got to be like a goal for a caster, surely.
Watch that.
Right, I'm gonna kick these two guys out, chat. Just saying.
It was fantastic. It was a intense game. I think I lost a bit of everything there.
I think everyone just lost their bearings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I saw Ant sleeping half the time, just regaining his composure.
As a game, like when it got to like 13-6 and 14-7, we all thought it was over because 100%. Granite did a good the second half of the first half, if that makes sense. Granite sort of fought back, but then Budapest 5 took the first 4 rounds of the second half, and you're thinking, oh, they're just going to close it out and Granite on the T side. But they did it against Famous 5 on Dust 2 on Saturday, Granite, where they fought to overtime out of nowhere, and they did the same thing on Overpass. And both times they got the win, and I mean, it was like the game aged like fine wine, and the longer the game went on, the longer overtime went on. Like every round just got that much better, that much more entertaining, and it was so close. Both teams gave everything, but Granite they never give up. They're dogs, man. In a good way, they're dogs. They just don't give up.
I just think they have that fighter spirit, really, which sort of proves why they're such a good team. Is it fair to say that out of the, I guess, 5 different winners we've had now in ESN, they're, out of those 5, the most deserved to have 2 of them? Because, obviously, no other team has ever won 2 ESN titles, but, like, it doesn't feel like anyone else who's ever won it, including both, I mean, the original Ice Shield, Lion's Creed, Lupus Ignis, even like a team like War Fox or Legends. No one else has really reached Granite's or B-Pro's level in my eyes, to be honest.
I would have liked to have seen Granite versus War Fox. Like the original War Fox, the core War Fox.
Yeah.
100%. I think that would have been a really good match, which we'll never get to see now.
Yeah, honestly, that would be such an entertaining match. I'd love to see that. Just raw skill both sides. Right, any other things on the game then? Because there is quite a bit to say. Anything to note about sort of the fact that no one played under anyone else, it felt like, for the whole series? Everyone was just on sort of the same level, I felt, for like most of that game.
Literally. It felt like every individual player, like Steffe was so good, Shake was insane in overtime. Without him, they had no chance. That incredible play, I know we'll talk about it more later. That is the best play in ESN history. It's got to be. I mean, the moments that those individual players created. I mean, even Scraddy, the 3K with the Mac 10 on the post plant, where you just thought, can Granite retake? And then Budapest 5 got to map point, series championship point even. And it was like the individuals, like both teams were so good, but individuals at so many moments had so many big plays to just change the course of the game.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy, to be honest. So many plays. Because, like, I feel like we've had some overtimes this season for sure, but we haven't really had too many overtimes where it's like there are plays too. If you guys know what I mean, like there haven't been too many overtimes where it's like, yeah, it's
Usually
both an
just grind,
overtime,
isn't it?
which is always pretty entertaining in its own right. Plus, we have sort of these, as you mentioned, Scratty, Shike plays where it's just, you know, and it's not even like it was only the sort of skill plays and aim either. The teams just ended up being really inventive too. I thought in like, the 5-man boost or the 4-man boost or whatever that was used from I think it was Granite originally. We didn't see that all game, but then in the overtime they pull it out. It really felt like both teams just sort of threw everything they had at it, and then honestly, I think I'll nominate this for an award later. Just spoiler, but the moment where I think it's countered, where the other team do it in the other half,
and then from heaven,
and then X-Brand shuts it. That was honestly
it's gorgeous.
It was
all
the
watching
craziest.
it in chat, and we were all like, I think it was like me, Jake, and Matt in the voice call at the time, and we were all watching it like, oh my god, they're gonna do the boost. It's gonna be another sick clip. And then when X-Brand get the shot, you're like, oh my god, I was read that. It's crazy.
It was even crazy.
We were so hyped last night. Like, we were watching it as fans of Counter-Strike. We were like, it was so amazing. Obviously, we had stuff going on, especially like the other two doing their operation kind of thing. But it was just such an entertaining game to watch and a spectacle. And I mean, it is the best and most entertaining game we've seen in this league. There's no other game that's come close to it. I don't think, especially Overpass, phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo Dom on that. Like, there's nothing much to say about the game unless just go watch it and just admire the game for what it was.
You'll never know until you watch the VOD.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you can just watch from overtime, and just that alone will show you how good of a match.
I think you should start. I think you should start watching when Granite come back. To be honest, in the game.
14-7,
I checked the last map. It lasted for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's 14-7. It's when Steffe gets that 4K hold on B when they have like a force bind. He's got one he's the only player with the gun.
Talking about some weird shit. Then just Steffe just 4K. I was like, we don't even
get
literally,
it was over in a second. It's one of those uncastable moments where it literally has gone in the blink of an eye, and you don't have time to actually talk about what's going on. I think that that plays like that from Steffe and obviously Shake, X-Brind as well. It was crazy, and like it was just so entertaining to watch, so chaotic in some ways, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna just say that on like on the third map, why I feel like it was such a spectacle as well is because throughout the whole season, everyone said Budapest 5 are just such a hard team to break down, both mentally and in game.
Yeah.
And then to see that happen, when we've even their players, themselves said, they choked. And to be fair to them, they were on 14 rounds for quite a long time, and then they were very much in the driver's seat for pretty much for the whole.
I think they're on time still. I think they were on match point a couple times in overtime as well.
They were
right?
as well,
yeah.
I believe,
yeah.
That's when I caught 16-13 win to BP5, and then they won the 15th round. It was 15-13 at one point, and I just thought, that's it, that's done. But yeah, as I said, it was genuinely spectacular to just see Granite actually be the first proper team to just mentally break down BP5 and just leave them in sort of in a situation where it's now what I've mentioned pretty much during the whole series is it was a test of grit for both teams. It's like these are the maps, especially that third map. These are the maps where you find out like what your team is made of, and how you deal with the most difficult in situations. And I felt like Granite dealt with it in like the most spectacular way. So yeah, I definitely pretty much back up everything that you guys have said as well.
Yeah, I think if anyone else wants to bring up anything, including the traitor this time.
I'm just not gonna in that case. All right, cool. Yeah, whatever. I got nothing anyway. It's fine.
About the game, then you're free to. But I do feel like we all share the sentiment that we can't really put it into words like how good that game was. It's almost not worth trying to describe it because like just watch the VOD really. It's honestly undescribable in quite a few ways. there is something to be said though for the statistics of it all. To be honest, like that wasn't just a great game from a viewing angle, from probably a playing angle, or from a caster's angle. It was a great game for the owners as well, and for just like the whole community. I think Budapest 5 ran a stream in Hungarian with probably peaked at maybe 180, 200, somewhere like that. It peaked at that,
Yeah.
but ours almost at the same time during that overtime peaked at, what was it again? 149?
148.
148.
Yeah, we've never been on triple digits even, and I think that's, again, I think I brought it up in the end of the stream before I played that video. Just like that final should be included in sort of the start of this new chapter, as we're calling it, of ESN.
Yeah.
You agree, owners?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Pop Bob.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you for tuning in.
Shit happens.
What do you think of that game?
Shit
Shit
happens.
happens.
So shit happens. That's the final.
What a baller though. He's
No,
cocky,
but-
but he's a good personality, bless him.
I don't think he's cocky. I just think he's confident in himself.
In a good way.
Because, like he said he will never
In a
shit
good
talk.
way.
He said to me, "You'd never shit talk a team that's been respectful." And I mean, that's what he was like with Budapest 5, talking in the match room. They'll compliment each other after the match and stuff like that. So it was. I think
the people haven't seen the funny part of that match room though.
Oh, I have seen
It's
that.
so fun.
I've seen that. It's brilliant.
Oh well, I don't know if he told me afterwards that
Yeah,
he didn't
let's-
mean to do that.
Yeah, we'll
But
not,
I'm
we'll
not quite sure.
Shall we gloss over that or not?
We'll gloss over it. We'll not, like, we'll not. How have you got Alexi B on stream? I'm sorry, I just
I don't know. I've been. Yeah, I think he's referring to me, but these guys, they've just been calling me a scuffed Alexi B and a homeless Alexi B.
Caveman
Phil
Alexi B.
with the original, yes.
Caveman Alexi.
Alex, they're bullying me.
You do
Alexi
share-
V gonna hit them with their Alexi tree. Go on, you go, boy.
He's got very many qualities of Alexi B.
Fortnite,
Fortnite
no.
Alexi B, yeah.
No fucking sin. No. My own, I'm getting bullied.
This is it. Usually it's me who's getting bullied by chat, but next
it's
time
good to change
feel
it.
like,
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Brilliant. Oh, it's nice not to be
It's
on
a
the
nice change of
receiving end
pace.
for once.
Dom's just gonna
First time
pile
we're
on
not
now.
getting bullied.
He's the
Refreshing.
kid that got bullied in 5th grade and then sort of just swapped class a bit in section. Like, oh yeah, get the
Yeah.
fucking kid. Oh yeah, get the fucking homeless Alexi B. Yeah.
Just joining in,
Yeah.
sticking the boot in. Yeah, at least it's not me down there.
Mm.
I like to take it, so can you.
Like, you've been bullied for 7
that
years.
shit
So like, you
English
see one
master?
other guy being bullied, like, oh, it's my chance to become a Chad.
Who's laughing now?
I can get it now. Not a helping situation at all, but I can help. It's fine. Oh,
Who let Grav talk? He cares about his country more than
I
his
don't
job.
know.
am I? Is that a bad thing?
Yes.
Yes.
You were told many
Yeah.
days and weeks in advance.
Yeah, I still give you like what?
Oh shit! Is
Today-
it?
Like 4
Oh
days.
shit! Is
or
it
3
this
days, like-
weekend? Oh no!
Yeah, the cast.
no.
or yeah, a few days before that we casted, I was like, yeah, the finals not this weekend, but the week after. We're like,
Have
okay.
you seen that? in
Yeah,
chat?
I've just read
Have
chat.
you seen ALX in chat?
I think we need to address Dan Chan's piss bottle. Would you
Can we
care
just
to
get-
comment?
Can we get a
Dan?
zoom in, please?
If
Can we get a
it-
zoom in? And
we have an
If-
explanation.
If anyone was to have a piss bottle, then I think Dan would
What,
be the
that is?
person. Yes. Good.
It's a fucking bottle of Tango with water in it. What are you on about?
That's healthy.
Tango.
Healthy piss.
He's so hydrated, it's crystal clear.
Mm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One sec,
Oh,
lads.
no.
Just,
He drinks that much of it, it just comes out clear the other way.
Does it hurt that much?
yeah,
Did-
I've got
just
you
didn't need to
guys.
say
Does it
that.
hurt that much? Oh my god.
God, what
Those
is
are not
that?
ice cubes, by the way.
What else?
Unreasonable.
I don't even know. Okay, no.
Alright.
It's just a fucking bottle of water. I don't know why we've gone on to this.
I think
Fuck.
I think
Can a dude not have a bottle of water on his desk anymore in this fucking
you have to
modern
hide
world?
it like
Nope.
a
Yeah,
respectable
maybe
lady.
You can't have anything in front of people online. They'll just pick out everything. Every single thing.
Alright, cupboard man.
Yep. Broken doors.
Dumbass
everything,
photo
everything.
frames.
Point proven.
I think we could
Like me and my massive head.
I think we could move on
There's
to
a little hint.
I think we could move on to
That was a good reference.
to season 7, but I think we should stay at season 6. I think we should go.
We can talk about the start a bit.
I think we should go for the season 6 awards. Don't you agree, people?
Yeah, let's do it.
Stormies, can I? Okay, do you still? Can I?
Who cares about what discount Alexi B thinks?
No. Stormies, you have the predictions of every caster.
Oh God!
Can we check them?
Yes, but I'll have to dig
I remember if I even made a prediction.
Oh my lord!
Oh, this is gonna be so fantastic when it grabs at the bottom.
Did I even make?
Shut it! Shut
I don't remember playoff predictions.
It's my first season, all right?
I never made a. I'm sure I didn't play
it's
it.
not your
second.
I'll probably
I
first
don't think we made a player prediction.
Somewhere, but
I don't think they were like official ones. I think they were just ones we did for fun.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Biggest disappointment.
I mean, I was AFK for most of the season, so I probably missed them.
You were probably
too
asleep.
busy
for
going
most of the
huzzah down a mic.
Yeah. I don't think Dan
Huzzah!
participated. But yeah, we did do predictions for like
us.
after
No
the
more
first
to say.
game or so, I think, or after the second game. We did predictions for the rest of the group stage, but I don't remember doing.
Beyond that,
I don't remember the
Not
playoff
really.
predictions, to be honest. And I probably got some things wrong, including Budapest
I
5
predicted
winning.
BP5 like 90% of the way, and then I had a bit where I was like, oh, it's going to be Versio, and then I went, actually, no, it's not going to be Versio. BP5 just banged them out. BP5
Versio
was
did
battered.
Yeah, literally like an hour before the game between Versio and BP5, we were like, oh, never mind, they have a stand-in.
Yeah.
flashback to
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
first.
An hour before the game, I was like, nah, BP5 will win.
Flashback to the first
Granite.
TCL, and I think I actually predicted that Granite or I think XBP or XB Pro.
Yeah, last
gonna win it.
TCL, one of us said Granite will win. I think it might have been Grev or Nexus.
No,
I
Grev-
flipped a coin about
yeah,
it. I am not.
Oh, yeah.
He flipped the coin.
I'm
I think
talking about
it
the
was,
first ever TCL. I think I might have predicted them
think it was-
being
I think it-
strong contenders.
I think it was Nexus, who maybe
I don't know.
or
It's
yeah.
that Finnish IGL,
I'm not even IGLing anymore.
He plays in Open, you don't need an IGL in that bum league, do you?
No. I'm glad I'm not IGLing those dorks. None of them can even think.
Roasted live on air.
Whoa.
If none of them can even think, that's why you fit in so well, Nexus.
No, I don't.
I want a bunch of non-thinkers.
Dorks.
I'm
okay,
actually a
saying
very
it-
intellectual person, so I think we should do some of the most obvious awards first, and then some of the ones that you guys put in. So, I mean, are we gonna have like a team of the season, maybe? Where maybe we just not as in we pick a player, 5 players to be in one, because I feel like we could discuss that for a whole episode, to be honest. And we are gonna have quite a few episodes before the next season kicks off. So maybe we'll do like a team of the season in some next one. Stop that, Dan. But I think we could do. I think we could do sort of the. What about sort of the dark horse of the season, or the overachievers? Maybe we started off by predicting the dark horse and the white donkeys to come in episode 1. White donkey obviously meaning
God, that feels like a
underachievers.
lifetime
back when
ago.
Grev didn't know.
And now we're gonna do them sort of in summary. I forget what we actually had picked for those, but I think we picked pretty reasonably.
Let's not go back. It's fine. We don't need to.
Yeah,
Next
Grev,
talking
you don't
point.
need to
Grev and predictions.
Awards.
Next.
Has anyone
Grev
got?
doesn't want to talk anything.
Has
Like,
anyone?
No.
Has anyone got a nomination for White or Dark Horse then? Someone who overachieved. Shut up.
Skillmatics.
They went out 0-3, but they really overachieved.
They managed to get rounds.
They did manage to get round.
They managed to get in.
Surely Aversio's got to be up there, because if you compare them to the rest of the top 4, there is such a massive skill disparity between them. Let's be real. I know they've got great players
think
like
everyone expects them
Crepo
at the
and
beginning,
Xhaka, but I feel like they were rated to be like a
They
good
signed-
playoff team.
they
I don't think they were going to do as well as they did.
They signed up with I think the core at least of the roster that made it to the final of the previous season. Like
Yeah, I
you
think
can't.
you always have
know,
to
but,
assume they
like,
get
You
to
can't.
playoffs.
You
Like,
can't. You can't say that
you always have them as a
semi-final.
shoe-in for. You always have the Versio there as a shoe-in for the at least quarterfinals.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm not just
Because
saying that.
it's like-
They
Even I
have to
said they would
crap
make it to top 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're still.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like, the majority of the team's the same. They've rotated different players out at the ends, but it's majority of the
Can I
same team,
s-
and you're gonna have the same structure.
Gotta
to
love
it.
those Ariana Grande stands.
Can I say
No,
can I? No, you can argue back. It's fine. Sure, go.
No, I was just gonna say I don't mean that like Aversio are a bad team who did way better than everyone thought they were gonna do, but like what I'm saying is they should be given credit in a way because when you compare them to the rest of the top four, there's Famous Five, BP5, and Granite, and then there's Aversio. Like I feel like there's a gap there, and I feel like they did well to be in the same conversation as those teams.
Well, they got banged out in the semi-finals, didn't they? Though.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
it didn't
exactly.
last long.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, but I think to have got so far and to have been in that conversation ahead of someone like Red Bloods.
I think that just has to do with them getting a fucking Red Bloods who didn't know where their 2 feet were in that quarterfinal. They honestly looked so bad in that. I could not believe my eyes.
Season, surely.
Wait, can we just keep on one thing, Dom? Thank you very much.
No. Sorry.
I said
Alex, no, please.
I think
Audio
if
quality's horrible.
Revenge actually got put in on Red Blood's side, because it was between Red Blooders and Revenge because they were from the same group. It was the sole reason that Red Bloods got put on the bottom of the bracket and Revenge got put on the top was because of round difference. So if Revenge actually got better round difference, probably down to that BP5 16.
Yeah.
If they actually got Red Bloods, I would have 100% been confident for Red Bloods for Revenge to take down Aversio and be in that semi-final.
In the way that Aversio have looked, yes, for sure. The way that they've looked, I think so. Honestly, I don't think they would have beat Budapest 5 Revenge, that is, but they would have made it semi. I think for sure. I'm gonna throw in the obvious hat in the ring, Regnant / 404 Multigaming, who went 3-0 in the group stage. And then lost to Famous 5 in the quarterfinal. I don't think anybody expected them to go 3-0 in group stage.
Nope.
No, I'd agree.
Well, you certainly did.
I mean, technically you did.
I literally forgot they existed.
I did, but
he backed them back when they were Regnant. But honestly, you
Regnant range
no one thought I mean, I wouldn't say no one thought Regnant would get through. We didn't think Regnant.
I was the only one to predict.
We didn't
3-0, yeah.
Yeah, we literally didn't think. Most of us, I would say, weren't even sure they'd make it to playoffs, let alone.
No, I think most people probably would have
put
put them like 3-1, 3-2, but still, yeah, I think they overperformed in groups.
Well,
yeah.
They did.
You have to remember though. You have to remember though. The Regnant side got that forfeit win against.
You always have to bring that up, don't you?
So I mean, I'm not saying anything like Versio. Oh, Versio totally would have won that match, but that's just one thing you have to say. Like they basically got a free pass. They got a free pass in one of the games. So they only won 2, really.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. And then the round of 16 wasn't like against the best opponent either in Havoc. And then it's not like they put up a great fight against Famous 5 either, I'd say. Well, first map it was decent in terms of how much of a fight they put up, but like Famous 5 were always going to win that series, it felt like. And any other teams you guys want to put in there for overachievers?
I was going to say Team Havoc.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, they went 3-2.
Yeah, because I think they had like didn't they have like a really bad seed? Originally?
Could have been 15th in seed.
I think so.
Yeah,
quite low.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, I just didn't. Watching that game, I just don't think they looked like they should have even been anywhere near the playoff spots, and they got 2-0'd by 404, who got 2-0'd by Famous 5. So I think whoever was playing Team Havoc in the first round was pretty much guaranteed a free. Not to shit talk.
So Regnant got 2 free passes.
Not to shit talk anyone, but
I think that
not to shit talk you, but your team is a free win.
I think that may
free love.
I think that more maybe has to do with who they played in the end, sort of like with Team Shazoo, who were also in the playoffs. Let's not forget.
Wait, really?
Yes, but they played like they did not. They also were a team that shouldn't have been anywhere close to the playoffs. They went 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, Vanix got 7 rounds against Havoc, and that's saying something.
Yeah, that's overperforming for
Vanix to get more than 3 rounds ago.
That's overperforming for Vanix, I think.
They treat getting one like match win as getting 1 round when it's the equivalent thing for them.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I think
Vanix, nice right. People. I do like the Vanix people.
I think you could say. I think you could put in Vector in here, to be honest. in that.
I was just about to say.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they. I think they.
I think they
know
underachieved
because
if anything.
Vector
I thought they were good.
If you look at the start of the season for Vector, they look not great. Like it wasn't a great start. They just look. They don't look coordinated at all when the season started. I would have said they'd go out like probably like only getting 1 or 2 wins in the group stage because they just don't look strong. Essentially,
the thing was. That Vector last season, they were in the playoffs, sure, but they barely got through into those playoffs, and it's not like they looked they didn't look great. I think they were one of the weakest playoff teams, but they looked really good, honestly, in the group stage. The only loss they had was against Regnant in a brilliant series.
Boo!
2-1.
Another free win.
They played really well as well. Only losing to XTC.
3 so far. Look at us counting.
Why are we bullying Stromies for her the direction?
We're not bullying Stroms. We're bullying for multi-gaming at this point.
Wasps
Guys,
gaming,
remember,
anyone?
we've got to get people to sign up for Challenger Division.
I would like to say I was gaming, actually. If you did like that.
Wasps gaming, anyone? No one knew anything about that.
They were going to be a white donkey, I think, and they actually were a pretty strong team. They went 3-1, didn't they? And I think they played pretty well in the first. Is it round of 16?
Yeah, they lost to Revenge 2-1. Put up a great fight. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So I thought they were going to be pretty dire, but they weren't actually. They're a pretty strong team.
Right, you've mentioned White Donkey there, Matt. You want to throw in a final point?
Well, again, I think if they're on a different side of the bracket, we could have seen them go a lot further.
Yeah, I think we didn't shine too much light on them either. I think we only talked about them when they actually went out, but. They were. I hope to see them back in Challenger Division next season. Please.
Dunk it. Do it, Dan.
Dan, you're gonna dunk.
Dunk it.
Dunk it.
I wasn't listening.
Dunk
It's like a dungeon dunk.
Suddenly the focus is on Dan Chan is saying dunk it. Like he has no clue what the fuck's going on.
Right. Can we just rewind about 30 seconds and go through that again?
You're gonna dunk.
ALX typed in, I can see the hoop, Dan. Dunk it.
What am I dunking?
In the top right of your webcam, I see a hoop.
That's a cord, but yeah, sure.
Oh, it's a cord.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, Alex.
We've been disappointed.
We've been bamboozled.
We've been bamboozled.
Who is the real host of this show? Alex has suggested about 5 different things now, let's be real.
Well, Alex is the only one who's active in the chat. The rest is just us looking at the chat. So he's the only real viewer at this point.
Alright, White Donkey, go.
Red Bloods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you play Budapest 5 where you nearly take them.
Yeah.
And then you go into against Project Aversio, a team you should realistically beat 2-0. And you get absolutely demonstrated.
They could have beat them, but I don't think they should have. Yeah. I don't know.
The
way they looked up against Phantom's Ignite was horrible as well, though. Like, they barely got away with a win against Phantom's Ignite.
2-1, I believe.
Exactly.
It was 2-1.
And if you look at them playing teams like Lucifer and August in the group stage, you look at that and you think, yeah, they beat Equinox to go through, but the teams that they played throughout the tournament were not the best teams up until Budapest 5, and they never looked like that really strong team that we know.
I think you always underplay Red Bloods in the group stage, but you did call it like the fucking that was such a good. You always say in retrospect, you always say, well, we always knew Budapest 5 were going to win that series. I did not know Budapest 5 were going to win that series against Red Bloods. I thought Red Bloods could have beat Budapest 5 there, honestly, during that series for large parts of it. And
Don't Phillips be a bully.
I thought that was the moment that we would see Red Bloods probably at least make it to top 4, but then they sort of crumbled against an Aversio that weren't even that good themselves, to be honest.
Was it Nuke they played, I believe?
Yeah, I think
probably.
It was probably the worst Nuke match I've seen.
Between two teams that should have been great.
Yeah, between two teams that I feel like Nuke can be considered as one of their home maps. It was a very, very boring match, so to say, in the fact that there was a lot of errors and not real much teamwork.
Geek Case, after 3-0 group stage, they get bombed out by Versio in the most routine manner ever.
Yeah, it's just a Project Versio thing, I think. Going 2-0 twice and then getting absolutely shat on and not really performing in the games where it actually matters. It's just a very Project Versio thing.
They keep replacing the players in the playoffs for some reason.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Well, I mean, getting a 3-day face it ban 3 days before. I mean,
also
2
a
days
good thing.
before your match is
fucking Jin Hao cannot control his hands.
Stop
Jin Hao. Start like
He's
get his name right,
now.
Xenia.
Xenia. Xenio or Xenio. Both work.
Senior later.
Xenio does not work, Grev.
It's fine. I just do it to piss him off at this point.
And us.
No, you just refuse to.
I also refuse to learn. It's also a thing, yeah. But
yeah. You're just afraid.
No,
You're afraid of change.
Bless you.
Jesus Christ.
Don't sneeze in your hand.
Elbow, bro. Dab on your... Dab. Destroy all materia.
I'm not sneezing. I'm not sneezing into this fucking hoodie.
What's the hoodie, Dan?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to show because
is this our competition? Oh wait, oh no, is it the Big Daddy competition? Okay, it don't matter then.
It may be the Big Daddy competition.
Yeah, don't show that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
no, he's showing it. He's showing it.
I've been holding my arm this way on purpose. So
he's showing
hopefully it's.
Why do you have to get daddied out by all this gear from everyone else? I can see the caps in the background.
Merch.
Where's your ESN gear, Dan?
Oh,
they don't have any gear to buy.
Yeah,
if they did,
where is our gear?
Not
yet.
Yeah,
Come on.
Not yet.
Exactly.
Our Grev?
Not yet.
We were waiting on a certain.
Norway's a socialist country. Where's our gear?
Yeah. You see, the plan is for me. I was gonna change this to an N basically.
Good.
And
That's
then
the end goal.
I'll just wrap it like that.
What NSL?
No.
Yes, NSL. I just really want to wrap the NSL.
What?
You good there, Ant?
Are you okay?
Okay. Something I haven't heard from in a while suddenly makes his reappearance.
A lack of Ant mean a very heavy presence of Ant spurts.
Yeah, right. Thanks. I'm good.
I think Ant's just broken since yesterday.
Yeah, I think
the whole Pringle. Are the Pringles still on the floor? Ant?
I picked most of them up. When I say pick them up, I meant ate them off the floor while I was going.
Oh no!
Who did the other day?
All right.
And there's no agreement on them. They're delicious. You can't blame me, all right?
Get Stromus's dad to crawl along and he'll eat.
Just attach sticky tape to his hands as he walks.
No,
I didn't even notice it live. That was the best bit. I didn't even notice.
I didn't cut away from it.
And I was literally buckled.
I cut away from it as soon as possible. I saw.
Honestly, the first time I looked at the clip, I thought it was a dog, hence the comments, nice dog. But then I looked at it back again, like, wait, hold on.
It would have been less embarrassing if he'd have just walked across frame for like half. No. The fact that he crawled
he said he thought he was out of frame, and I'm like,
oh, you told him about it? Have you shown him the clip?
I sent him the clip midday without context.
How does it feel? That's probably one of the most watched clips in the entire VSF.
I looked, it's top 25, but
I did.
Well, that's still pretty good.
Well, that will change by the end of today.
Oh yeah.
People in chat, and those are
can we post it in the chat?
No.
Yeah, let's post it.
All like 10 to 15 people.
We'll post it on Twitter later, maybe.
You already have like 500 times.
Matt posted it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on his personal account.
Oh, sorry. Did you want me to retweet it on here?
Oh, please don't.
Alright,
can we move this along? Thank you very much. Yeah, let's get a couple from the lovely casters who have. Well, some of them have put in some suggestions as to some categories we should award. I think we should start off with quite a nice one from, I believe, Grev, the Caster's Freakout Award, which is going to be personal for every.
What's Dom doing then?
I don't know.
Sorry, Dom. What the fuck are you doing then?
Me, mate.
Me, I suggested.
He thought he was the one who suggested it. You fucking asshole.
No. It's not what I was saying. It's not what I was saying at all. What I was saying is, some of you aren't even creative enough to come up with things. Grev is. I am.
You put up your hand for that, or what? I don't see the
connection.
Look at me.
Right, anyway.
Egocentric at it again, you know how it be.
Caster's Freakout Award, meaning that you all pick a moment. Gonna be harder for some of you, cough, cough, Dan, that haven't casted as much, but just one moment from the season that made you freak.
More than Sully.
That made
me freak out.
That made you freak out when you casted it, and then Matt and Jake will decide the best moment. I'll start. Hey, I'm Dom.
Okay.
I'm here. And I'm gonna choose I think I said it earlier, the sort of counteracting 5-man boost moment where X-Sprint shuts down the 5-man boost in the overtime after it's been done by their team. That's my Freakout Award. I think we all just lost it in that one. Me, Nexus, and Grav Easter Trader.
Almost. One up.
No, don't say his name. Don't say the trader's name.
Nexus,
I'm slowly but surely becoming Ant.
Nexus, you have any moment where you remember losing your bearings?
Half of that game.
Just the overtimes, everything.
Yeah. The fact that it was 14-7 or something like that, and then it's somehow triple OT.
Yeah. I respect that. Grev?
Not really my freak out moment, because I feel like I've been fairly passive, although people might, disengage me on that. But the clip of Shike when Ant was casting it, that freaked me the fuck out just by watching it. That clip was insane.
But the whole point, I think the point I'm trying to get with this award, not that you made it up, obviously, so I'm trying to just tell you what the award means. But
yeah, I made it up, but you're telling me how to play the game.
But what I'm saying
he's obviously right.
What I'm thinking is sort of like the moments that you sort of didn't even get comprehensive in while casting. It was just too much of a freak out to even be able to cast it. It's sort of like the counteracting boost thing where we did not know what to say at all, I don't think. But
I have no specific time, because there's a lot of them.
I just mean like in the Shike moment, Ant still somehow kept talking in comprehensive sentences, which
when he was done with it, he ran across the room. I was thinking,
I just think back like, oh my god, what's going on?
I like shoved out my chair. I was like, hand him out. I was like, boys.
Yep, that was the Stewie 2K moment, wasn't it, Dom?
Literally Stewie 2K. That's the only player you compare it to.
Phil Z, you didn't cast either. Yeah, we just haven't casted too much, I guess. I think it goes to a default. Jake and Matt don't even get to vote. It's gonna be that fucking counteracting boost move. Dom, you have one, maybe? You have your you didn't have your hand up. You didn't have your hand up, so
for God's sake. My input would be for a freak out, right? That wasn't.
It's just gonna be about the final.
Bad freak out, right? It was when Bacon threw a 4v2 in that.
That's last season.
That's last season.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm bringing it up anyway.
Right, so
that's
worse than not saying anything.
Watching it in the fucking studio for the finals.
That's worse than not saying anything.
Oh yeah, no. If we were watching that in the finals, all people would hear in the background, it's like, I just put my head through the wall because I can't take it anymore.
If yesterday's final was in live production, all you'd hear is Matt and Jake, and everyone just going crazy.
Yep. Right. I think it goes by default then to that counteracting move, because
it's got to be Shay. Oh no, the counter boost. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with counter boost because none of us knew what the hell was going on.
Fucking counter boost it is.
I mean, I can't remember any other moments from when I've been casting. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just been casting
when did you cast?
It's probably just. I've done like 6-7 games. So shut your ass.
You did like one.
You did like 2 I think you did 2 Versio games.
Right. I did one of the Versio quarterfinals.
Red Bloods.
And then I did 3 games in the fucking playoffs with Taylor. I did the Skillmatics. I did Vector, and I did like the August.
Oh,
they were all awful games. That's probably what made me quit
again, yeah, you just casted terrible games.
And then I did 2
playoffs.
I
casted Skillmatics in August. Does that even count?
Pain.
I mean, considering that makes about 30%, 40% of what I fucking did this year, then yeah, I'm definitely counting it.
This year?
This season, same thing.
Same thing, actually, yeah.
Probably, same thing.
He's predicting his worth for the next few months.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's out. He's gone.
All right. let's move it along later then to the Nivara Award, as Dom titled it. Sort of the
Screen's brother.
Next big boy.
The most likely to sort of quite quickly jump on the quickest train to the top pro scene, sort of a specific player this is from the season.
Oh, I'm gonna start this off with unless you have something.
No, you can start off.
All right.
Alexi B, maybe?
No. There's this Swedish player for Seiya called Alex. He's a fucking genius. He's a gamer.
Simping to chat. Simping.
No, Alex is actually nuts. He's actually nuts.
He is, but shut up.
Fuck you.
All right, next.
Okay, I have one.
Next.
So mine, obviously, I created this award because the name that came to mind straight away is Shake, because obviously he's only 17. He showed them the mental strength to sort of get that play in OT. Flexible with both an AWP and a rifle. He's an AWPer now, but he's a stick rifler as well. And I just feel like Bulgarian teams might pick him up in the future. This entire award is just a bit of gooch licking, but you can't help it, can you?
Oh, gooch about that here.
Shake's my vote.
Oh no! Shut up, Matt.
Alright, sorry, carry on.
Shake, my vote.
Cool.
Shake.
Does someone want to do the big one, or do I have to nominate them myself?
Yes.
Zaka.
Nominate. Go on.
Popov. Popov
yeah.
is probably the most insane for an IGL that frags like that. That
was going to be my nomination as well.
Hey, have you seen fucking Krepow? Jesus.
I have.
Krapow's brilliant.
I mean, I've seen him in a lot of finals and semi-finals, but I haven't seen him. He's like the Tottenham Hotspur of our league.
I could be a really popular nomination, but I feel like what he does for a team is actually insane.
Wait, which player? Sorry, I just heard laughs.
I haven't said it. That's Scraddy.
Oh, Scraddy.
Because
Scraddy.
if you actually look at, especially when BP5 in the most famous runs they usually wins, like when they have like a 2 or 3 man deficit and they just go 2v5 and they win. Scraddy is always able to grab a multi-frag every single time. And I remember like that one moment that sticks out is when they were playing Revenge, I think it was. I was casting that game, and then with you Stromers, and then I remember Scraddy just jumps on like the sinking decon on nuke, and then just sprays into the ceiling to grab a kill on the retake. What looked like it was just going to be like finally the first round for Revenge, and then he just completely just dominates them. So I feel like not even just obviously basing it on that one game, I feel like just throughout the whole season he's been brilliant. So
I mean, you could probably pick like most of Budapest 5, to be honest, because they just have such a consistent team. In that everyone's just pops up every now and then. Q-Pix comes to mind as well. Camper was really good as an AWPer this season. Just like basically GBKO for sure. Just everyone, whoever left out.
The one guy.
I feel bad. He's definitely.
Yeah, shout out to that one guy Strawberries can't remember.
That one.
Well, he's obviously not going to be nominated.
You know who you are.
He's gonna Google it now.
I am.
He's not being nominated.
No, but I do.
Seboy, there you go.
Seboy, yeah, and he's like one of the best as well. So like, I can't. As if I've forgotten Seboy. Like it's the whole of that team. The whole of that team could honestly be nominated for that award. What hurts them is probably just the Hungarian scene not really having that high of a ceiling right now. But if they looked international, then maybe they would work, despite their coordination as a team maybe being one of their strong suits in many aspects. Right. Any other nominations?
Come on.
No.
So who we have? Popov, Shake.
Okay, so Budapest 5.
The entire team.
Yeah.
Ant, you have one? You've cast a good one.
I would agree with Scraddy. Obviously, I think he's been performing pretty well the entire season. And I remember, like in the group stages, he was just being really high up there. Obviously, GBKO and Camper were both insane with like pistols throughout this entire final. But obviously, we've said all of them were pretty solid. But I think Viltrex is probably the most consistent. Obviously, he hasn't had the IGL and stuff. But even when he's not getting kills, he's had insanely high ADR. And obviously, that's usually what counts. And he's just standout player for me.
He's the best player on
do I
that
have
team,
to say the obvious one that we have to say every season?
What about Vorshon?
No,
sorry to interrupt.
That's not the most obvious one.
That's actually
the one that we always say every single season, probably.
Yeah.
Who?
Go on.
Seacon.
Oh.
I was thinking of that.
The
mad lad himself.
Not gonna lie.
I mean, the inferior Swede.
Yeah.
Wait, who? I missed that.
Zekon from XDC.
I was gonna say Zekon.
Just every season.
Zekon and Lind kind of. I just think they're kind of disappointing.
Him alongside with Lind is a pretty good combination.
I mean, as a duo, they're good.
I think they need to move to a better roster.
Seek just drops.
Some more potential.
Seek just drops 30 in like every map, in every game, in every season. Like it's hard to really. He's so consistent in his in just how good he is all of the time, good or bad as a team, you know. And as the team have sort of maybe underperformed a bit this season in that they didn't really do too much after they beat Vector in a semi-comprehensive match. Actually, that was a pretty good series, but I mean, they did get Budapest 5, so make of that what you will. I'm not sure if we would have seen them like, whoever they played in the quarterfinal, they wouldn't have got past the quarterfinal. Anyway.
I think Zybrin, he's a good point for himself. I'm just looking through the famous 5 roster. He's, I think, the newest pickup for them, and he was very good for them, performing really well. He got a lot of entry frags, and obviously as an entry frag, you can't just go in and die, but he didn't. He was getting, like, on Dust 2, he was just running into B and getting multiple kills consistently, just wiping out. And yeah, he definitely impressed me as a possible future prospect out of nowhere.
Speaking of famous 5, Dan, you mentioned Vorchin,
Yeah, I think he's just been like, from the games I've watched, he's been like such an influential player. Like there was that train game against 404, and he was literally single-handed the carry on that. And then the map before, he was solid as well. He's looked solid for the entirety of the playoffs. He was pretty decent in the groups as well. So I mean, he's probably he's up there. I'm not sure if he would be the best. Obviously, Zybrin's a very good shout as well. I think Zybrin would probably be a better bet out of the two of them, to be fair. But I think Vorchin played really well as well.
He's fantastic.
Something off that as well is Vorchin actually messaged me today. He was telling me that
leak DMs.
In groups, he actually wasn't the captain for the team. And it was only in playoffs when they started actually performing a lot better.
I get it. So he started giving himself all the good positions then.
Started giving himself credit for their success.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, it goes to show that maybe they were lacking a good leader in groups, and then he came back. And
I think they lacked it for the first 2 games for sure. That was sort of evident.
You know, maybe for lockdown cups and playoffs.
Yeah,
they were a mess versus Phantoms Ignite. They were shocking, but then they came in the lockdown cups.
That was like the worst game of the season. One of the longest and worst games of the season. That was the contrast between that triple overtime and the triple overtime in the final is jarring.
Oh my god,
it's crazy.
Gravy in it.
Despite you being on Vertigo,
are we deciding?
Sure. We have so many different people. The whole of Budapest 5, Popov. We haven't got any Portuguese people in. Anyone from Geek Case? Anyone from Equinox? Equinox have a bunch.
Wait, I mean Matt deciding.
Not really. That's
no.
There was Story.
Story. He's so important.
I think they're okay, but they were a bit disappointing.
Yeah, but
I think Story was such an X factor, and then he left, and then Equinox.
For Equinox,
and then
he
didn't.
It was their downfall, and I think
Story's a good pick.
Story showed how much of a influential player he was, because you know, Equinox beat Geek Case in the qualifier, and then towards the end of groups when Story left, I don't even think Equinox could have beaten Geek Case at all. So I think it shows how different he changed the roster.
For sure. Right, we have like Vorchin, we have Cybrin, we have Story, we have Popov, we have the whole of BD5, we have Seacon, we have Shake.
I've already made my mind up.
You don't want too many players.
Yeah, I think we have too many players. Do we just want to throw a quick Ant? Give me a player. Best Nivara. Who's the next Nivara?
I'll go with Popov because the scene's always in need of IGLs, and yes, you made a very valid point. He can frag. He knows his strats in triple overtime, and they're still doing actual valid things. Yeah,
Dan. Are you asleep?
What are the suggestions again?
Player, Nivara.
Next
Nivara.
I think to be honest, I think Popov is a good shout. I wouldn't like maybe not the best, or the next Nivara maybe. I'd probably more lean towards Zybrin on that one, but I think Popov's a good shout either way.
Tom.
I'm going to change hands to Popov because the goalposts have changed from like the most talented player to the player who's most likely to move up. Popov.
I think the award is sort of based on who's gonna the quickest move to the top. You know, is sort of what the award is. Again, not my award; it's Dom's idea, but I'm applying my own meaning to it. Phil Z, next to Nivara.
Yeah, I think I'll have to agree with. Although I said Scraddy, I feel like
everyone's saying Popov. All right, move on.
Yeah, I think it might just, anyone else who doesn't want Popov? Is there anyone?
Yeah, me.
Oh, all right.
Nexus.
To the top. Okay. Think about it this way: to the top, you're not gonna. No pro team or any team like that is gonna pick up an IGL out of main. Basically, they're gonna look for a fragger like the way they Nivara got there. They're not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna take this IGL.
So in
that case, it's Shake.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be literally anyone out of BP5. It could be anyone out of this. So I'm just disagreeing on that one. I can't think of one.
Give your own. Just say one. Throw one out there.
Go for Zybrin.
2, 1.
Go with Scraddy. Go on.
Yeah, Scraddy's not. He was good.
Yeah, he's
influenced by Philzy. Yes, image.
Scraddy's a good pick.
As always.
Again, I was gonna have an MVP award, but I think that's a bit boring. Maybe. We keep on saying praise from Shaik. He was inconsistent through all of. I mean, he got picked up like ahead of like quarters last season, or ahead of semis even, and he was pretty good. He was okay in like the semi, and he was pretty good in the final. And then he's been so inconsistent through the whole season, and especially in playoffs. Even in the final, he was asleep for like so much of that. He had a great overtime, but I think just recency bias is sort of playing too big of a factor in that one. I think Granite Gaming in general probably have quite a few good picks. Stefa, new signing, great player.
Stefa's brilliant, yeah.
He's such a good player. Scratty, probably up there as well for me. Story, influential, Opper, ? I think. Vorain, Seacon, any of those.
Was the main op, wasn't he?
Any of those.
Forgot about Eagle Diaz.
Oh yeah, but no, not quite as influential.
That's fine.
He's got the Deagle. He's got the Deagle.
What's the next one then, Stromus?
All right, we're moving on. The Freest Rent Award from Nexus. I think it's just an automatic win to Schematics and Deck.
Yep.
We've been talking about Deck.
Our obsession with them is funny.
Dan's obsession with Schematics specifically.
Oh yeah, Dan loves it. Dan's actually the main driver behind it with Matt, I'd say.
Hey, I wasn't a driver. I just.
Yeah, what? Schematics being trash.
I mean, he said it before the TCL, and then they just proved it from there, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Has anybody got any ones where they're not where they're living rent free in someone else's
Most
life,
of Twitch chat with Dom.
Me, Twitch chat.
Oh yeah, like I got someone actively trying to get rid of my job. Trying to take my job away.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the
he goes onto Twitter and starts talking to the people who pay me and saying like, "Yo, you need to get a new cast." Just like, what the fuck is this?
Not in ESN, of course.
Rent free.
Our chat would never do that. I meant the other way around.
Perfect mental health, of course.
I meant the other way around of chat, of course, where I meant that chat's living rent free, and Dom said, but he took it the nice way.
No. We're not having that. I'm taking it the other way. I'm taking it my way. Thank you. Not having that.
Yeah, sure.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
This is why you shouldn't be a mob.
I'm always the marginalised one in this bloody place.
You got appointed as Twitch mob yesterday.
Fine.
Come on.
We appreciate you, but
you called yourself an OG in like I'm the only OG not to have mod. Me and the Ant are very offended. Thank you very much.
You both have mod though, don't you?
Yeah, but
okay.
he's not the OG.
Of all the casters in this room,
OG was
of all the casters in the room, I'm the third longest tenure here.
Hey, Matt, can I get modded?
Do you want to fucking clap?
You joined in the same season as Nexus.
What?
John, what does that say about you? Your third longest, you still not got
See, me and Matt didn't know.
Yeah, Nexus.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the first time Nexus cast for those. It was a long time ago.
Season
I thought
3.
it was season 3. Yeah.
And Dom joined in
season
season
2.
No,
Dom joined in season 2.
No, Showbiz has been telling me.
I joined in July.
I thought Dom
July
joined
2019.
Yeah,
I joined July 2019. July 2019.
Yeah, season 2, 100%. End of season 2.
Still not the OG, the only OG. Me.
I'm not the OG, but I am.
Okay, this
Louis
isn't an
Cook.
ego contest. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I'm not saying anything.
Get him out and start measuring. We can all get rid of it. All right. Don't care if it's cold.
Measure your time.
All right.
It's not cold. It's hot.
All right. It appears as though there's been plenty of rent to give out here.
Oh yeah.
I guess in terms of ESN, it's probably me and Skillmatics. I guess.
I mean, who lives rent free in my head is fucking face it.
Mm.
I'm thinking every
yeah,
single
but they deserve
way
to
I
pay
can
rent
have.
because they treat you
Competition
like
admins.
Right. I think we'll end.
Admins who don't work on Sunday.
I think we'll end with one final award. Should we do choke of the season? Anything but Budapest 5 nominating?
Sully and his casting goals.
He said I think he set a goal of 2, didn't he? Of this season.
A goal of 2 to improve last season.
And he didn't even. Yeah, he didn't
he
even
ended up with 2.
No, he ended on 1.
I mean, I can name you my season 5 choke, which was absolved, of course.
Oh, like that.
But for season 6,
Escape Esports for not turning up.
I mean,
say a blue
true.
screening.
Key case.
Oh yeah, say a blue screening. That's a good thing to bring up. Case,
Oh,
what happened?
See ya, yeah. Blue screen. If we didn't blue screen at the first map, then we wouldn't get 2-0, guys.
It was
If we had a
they
good
literally
PC.
would have gone to 15, and it would have been an eco or something like that.
If one thing didn't happen in one round, we wouldn't look a dog for the rest of the game. Promise.
It just ruined the morale, you know.
You may be saying it, but
How many times?
This is why no one likes
Yeah,
it.
true. Like,
Bring
you
it
won
myself.
the
Testers Lounge.
versus the Force by.
Yeah.
It's all those minor rounds, though, isn't it?
Yep.
Right. I think that's it for the award section. Remember, we still got to talk about season 7, guys.
Oh fuck!
Oh my god.
Oh.
We've been going for an hour.
We've been going for an hour.
Oh, season
Alright.
7.
Yeah, it is an hour. It would be an hour and 10, but Jake.
It's called the big one for a reason.
I don't think I should be called. I don't even think I should be talking about the season 7. I think I should just let it over to Jake and Matt.
Yeah.
Boo.
Go on, Jake.
Give me 1 sec. I'm just replying to a DM.
Great.
I'll start off.
Season 7.
Professional owner. Professional.
Obviously,
This is just a hobby.
season 7. We've been going for a year now. We had the year of ESN while season 6 was happening, and we really want to push season 7 now in like the most upwards direction as we can. Now we've got to a point now we've got sort of a following. We've got a good team with casters and production and all that on board now, and and we really wanted to showcase what we were sort of aiming for, like what our aspirations were for. We're sort of keeping with the amateur scene. We're not just chucking that away, but we're trying to push more into a semi-professional, professional sort of standard in CS. And I think with the rebranding and with what we're sort of offering with the prize pools and the teams that we've got in already, I think that's sort of showing people that we're not just a hobby, and this is actually something we're doing.
Yep.
Shout
Seriously.
out EEG. Matt, do you want to talk about sort of what
I had that.
do you want to talk about what the 2 tiers actually mean in Champions Division and like Challenger Division? What are they all about?
So it's this information that's on the website, but teams don't want to read it, so they ask.
No,
me
you
questions
should
about
say
it.
now. Clip it
So
and
I'll
have
just-
it as a FAQ.
Yeah, actually, I'll do that. I'll clip it, and then every time a team asks me these questions, it's clearly
Just
listed on the
create that in
website.
Discord. It's
I'll
called
just send them.
like divisions or something.
Yeah,
Not
but
allowed
Dan,
that.
you don't get it. They still come to me and ask questions.
no,
I
yeah,
do
no, and
everything I possibly
It's
can.
like in the Discord,
Yeah,
though,
no,
isn't it? When
every
they're
time
like,
you
Some
ask.
people
the
just
game
need to be
every
led by
single
the
fucking
nose at
time.
the end of the
And
day.
I
Yeah,
w-
but
we were
Matt,
getting
every
in
time-
round 5. 5 weeks of group play. How do we schedule a match? Are you fucking serious?
Oh,
Rent
I'm the
free.
manager.
Rent free.
Literally, literally that triggers me off the face of the earth.
I'm the manager
But anyway,
of the team. How do we
how do we veto?
Going back. Oh, how do we veto as well? You know. Oh, can we veto 24 hours before the match? Yes, that's fine. 1 hour before the match. Where's the veto, guys? 2 minutes before the match. Oh, we'll do veto now. Thank you. Thank you.
Right, back to tiers.
Back to what I was saying. So tier 1 is top 16 teams. So far, 4 confirmed teams are Blue Jays International. Are you good?
Big academy.
Bye, Stramus. Nice to see you. He's gonna do his
crawling away. Anyway, as I was saying, Blue Jays International, Trick Sport, Big Academy, and Nerd Rage. I can't. I mean, I can give you the 2 teams. No, I can't.
No.
If you want team that's just paid for their spot.
Don't.
We'll wait.
No.
We'll let it be announced on Twitter.
Okay.
Don't.
No fancy shit for this podcast.
The other thing I can announce is about Rafael's Portuguese qualifier, as he has publicly announced that, where top Portuguese teams will be playing in a qualifier. The winner gets his spot that he has paid for. From there, there'll be qualifiers where there's 2 spots available out of the 16. 2 qualifiers, £10 each. You pay for the qualifiers. You win the qualifier. Welcome to Champions Division. You lose the qualifier. I mean, nice try, but you get £5 discount into Challenger Division, which is 64 teams. The winner of Challenger Division gets straight up into Champions Division, and second place goes into a relegation playoff with the 2 teams in relegation of Champions Division. That's a lot of words when it's
so sick. I didn't even know those last details.
Yeah, so basically it's trying to keep the seasons sort of reoccurring. Like season 7 will have sort of an interlink with season 8. So it's not just the teams that are in the lower half of tier 1 aren't going to think, okay, we're in the lower half, we can't really make it anymore. They're still fighting for the next season's spot in tier 1. And the same with tier 2. It's like there is a prize pool, but the main goal is to try and get into tier 1 to break through and play against these top teams.
I think as well there's sort of something to be said for that, because like in past seasons that's sort of what we've been missing in a way, in that like in season 1 we had Ice Shield win. They didn't come back for season 2. I think the roster fell apart. In season 2 we had Lions Creed win. I don't think they came back for season 3, but obviously they'd come back for future seasons. In season 3 Lupus Ignis, they fell apart right after. Season 4 it was the Legends team that only played 1 game of season 5. And then in season 5, finally we had the winners come back, but like, you know, it's still good to see recurring for sure.
Yeah.
Sort of interlinked seasons.
Continuity between seasons, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like it also
no, it's fine.
Just say I feel like it also does obviously just keep sort of like the reminder that like this is sort of the roots of where, you know, these are the sort of teams that pretty much allowed ESN to sort of evolve into what it did. And I feel like it's good to get these, just more and more of these teams that participated in previous seasons. I feel like now it's coming to the point where, you know, so many teams want to take part because of what it has become.
Yeah, we've got like lower down teams that still want to be part of it, don't we? Like who may not be able to make it. Like I think Mouse Place is a relatively good example. Not like shit talking the roster or anything, but obviously when you got big giants like Budapest 5 and Granite Gaming who are just so insanely good, Mouse Plays are kind of like perhaps out of their level, but obviously they're still joining and they've been supporting us for I think the most seasons, isn't it? The most. I think they're the team with the most.
I think they've played the most.
So you know, they missed season 1. That's the only season they missed.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's always good. You know, giving love to those guys.
I think that's the main goal with Challenger Division, is that we kind of want to move the teams that are kind of making it hard for those teams to progress in the current season. For example, you know, Project Budapest 5, Granite, Famous 5, stuff like that. We kind of want to have those teams not saying out of it in a bad way, but saying out of it to give those teams more of a chance and have them in the upper division.
Yeah.
So then it gives those teams a chance to play people on a similar level more and have a chance to build up and try and get into that Champions Division spot. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the main there's two perspectives of it, in the fact that if you're in Champions Division as a team and you're, let's say, not as good as some of these teams you're playing against good solid teams that is great practice and where you'll probably learn a lot. And from an org perspective as well, I mean, it just looks good on an org to be playing against these teams, for example, like Tricked, like Big Academy, who, yeah, they're the Academy roster, but under the same brand of Big, which, well, is big. Pun intended.
Good one.
Haha.
I think the only other team we can reveal outside of obviously, I think everyone who's watching this stream or VOD has probably seen the Next Chapter Twitter video of the just sick little Season 7 more than a teaser where Tricked
Nerd Rage,
shout out to Jake.
Tricked, Nerd Rage, Big Academy, and Blue Jays revealed. I think we could also say that For the Win esports are confirmed because it's been tweeted out by every single Portuguese news source. So I think people might have missed that, but it's out there if you're looking for it. So it's gonna be FTW and a Portuguese qualifier team that are.
You awake, Dan?
Hey, he's awake.
I wasn't.
Thinking, I wasn't doing, and I seemed to point. I was like, "Wait, what's Dan doing?"
No, I wasn't. No, right. No, I'm awake, but like the way I angled my head, then I'm looking at my first monitor, which has the stream on it, and then like I'm like.
But as you said, For the Win are confirmed as well. I forgot about that. That was publicly tweeted out. Yep. So you've got
another advanced team.
You've got one of the biggest Portuguese teams. We've got one of the biggest. Well, I say one of the biggest Danish teams in the semi-pro scene, shall I say?
I think so.
Top of
one of the biggest UK teams. Where are Blue Jays from again?
Bulgaria.
I mean, one of the biggest Bulgarian teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's the fine? Well, I mean, Big Academy may not be one of the biggest Germans teams,
but
their org is the biggest German org.
Yeah.
I will say one thing about Blue Jays is they actually look really good as a team. Like,
okay,
I was watching I was casting them in a non-disclosed tournament, and they look really good against. They look really good against like the likes of like Hard Legion and teams like that. So that was...
East European teams in some type of closed qualifier, you say? I wonder what that could entail.
No, absolutely no idea what it could be.
I think it's sick.
Let the man be. He just woke up.
We have a couple more confirmed teams, but as you say, I think we'll announce them on Twitter just to build up the hype hard. If you don't want to drop any hints about it, but just from looking at the other teams that are part of it and these first 4 or 5, there's some great diversity in as well, which I think is great because we're just trying to branch out and try to just go quite big. I think the whole point of trying to do that across sort of the whole of Europe is
it's to have an international stage.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's the whole point. We don't just want like 5 UK teams, 4 Portuguese teams, and whatever. We want 1 or 2 from each little region to then have a massive, an international league kind of thing. Well, European league. But yeah, like that's the NA league. Don't get me started. No, that's not happening for a while. People keep asking me, but it's not happening for a while.
I'm not just thinking
it's really difficult.
Until someone comes to me and actually gives me a good proposal, it won't be happening for a while.
Yep. All right. Anything else to say, guys, about Season 7? Anything you're hyped for? Anything you're expecting? I mean, people have seen sort of the HUD, what we're going for, in some ways.
Break your computer though, the first version.
Yeah, but I think our lovely Portuguese regional manager Castro is working on a fix for the map itself, which maybe you could tell as a viewer that we weren't having that on for the latest 2 because it did full screen windowed CS. It's just the worst invention that's ever happened because just terribly integrated, really.
But the HUD does look super sick.
The HUD does look super
good.
Thank you, Castro. Shout out.
Yes.
Right. Any other final notes? Oh yeah, I think we didn't even mention sort of the stream angle of it. We're not streaming any Challenger Division games. Those are going to be streamed to third party.
The finals.
Oh yeah.
Only the finals weekend being the semi-finals and the grand final.
Yeah. And final. I think we're doing the final of both qualifiers as well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because they'll be best of threes.
Yep. And then we're trying to cast all of Champions Division in sort of a reasonable manner. Sort of going back to the more scheduled stream manner.
3 stream days, 3 default days they can schedule, 2 Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. The goal is hopefully that teams just magically schedule it evenly. So we have like 4 games on one day, 4 games on another day. That doesn't even make 16. But yeah, it's also never going to happen because, well, we don't live in a perfect world.
But I think it'll work out, I think.
No, yeah, I think hopefully we'll have 3 games each day. I'm hoping, which we can all cast, and then we'll have some games that aren't being casted, but they'll be prioritized for the next week.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Any final notes, Jake?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that the qualifiers. I think when the teams, more of the tier 1 teams get announced, I think the qualifiers will probably be some of the most competitive games we'll probably ever see in ESN, because the sort of hype built around tier 1 and the teams and the prize pool and sort of the exposure. I think that so many teams are going to want to be in that. I think that's going to make for some real good games. I think I probably can announce that we're doing some form of tier 2 qualifiers. Well, we're doing like a tournament, which will be announced sort of like don't want to give too much away, but sort of like an FA Cup style. If you know what the FA Cup, every name gets drawn in a hat. It's sort of 2 names out, so there's no seeding. It's fully just going to be purely based on sort of the luck of the draw. If you've got to be the best team in every game you play, no matter if you're in your first game playing the second seeded team and you're the first seeded team or whatever. So top 4 spots in that are going to be, I think, for tier 2 giveaways as well. Yep. So we're still trying to cater to the teams that maybe aren't going to push for tier 1 but still want to play to get into tier 2.
Yeah. Right. I don't think we have anything else to say. Just gotta say the thank yous then, I suppose, despite there being so many to thank. Thank you, Ant. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Filsey. Thank you, Trader. Thank you, Jake. Thank you,
stop that now.
Thank you,
That's outrageous.
And thank me. We'll see you back next week.
Thank you.
And it won't be as big, and it won't be as chaotic, but it will still be here. All right, see you, boys. Bye-bye.
Bye.